You are listening to Within Tolerance, a podcast for machinists by machinists. I'm your host, Dylan Jackson of Proteum Machining. And this week, as always, Chris Sabatini. What is going on, dude?
Dude, living the fucking dream, baby. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like 2 months almost.
Something like that. Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah, it's been too long is what it's been.
We've both been like very, very busy. I mean, you've had some kind of crazy stuff going on with the Flex and power and all that stuff. I don't even know where to start. We both have so much shit to talk about. It's kind of nutty.
So we were going to record just before the summit.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you give us the update, I guess, leading up to the summit, and then from then, and then I've got a list of a few things that I want to touch on too.
Yeah. So right before the summit I think we had just launched or been like a couple weeks into launching CritLink, our ERP that Justin Gray did the final touch-up security stuff on. I will just plug it right out of the gate, justingraylabs.com for vibe coding stuff. His kit, I've been using it on other stuff too, and going through the app, and man, it does pay. It is very obviously different, and you can attest to this too. Having good architectural baseline or whatever the fuck base in his rules and shit makes a huge difference in everything. And so the app is much, much better and safer. But that has been 2 things. CritLink, it's a play on critical chain, the Eliyahu Goldratt, just buckets. I think some people probably pick up on that, but that was because I like buckets of hours, and we've kind of hammered it down till we do everything in 2 phases, which I think we've talked about: offsite phase, onsite phase, and that's it. And then we potentially have multiple onsite phases if we need to go back, or we had a customer that we were doing work at. One of the parts they just didn't have material for, so we'll come back and do whatever.
Right.
And that just becomes part of the schedule. But the amount of the reduction in friction of onboarding customers and getting paid and all this other stuff has been like, we just kind of went through it a little bit before we recorded, and everything is so much slicker and faster. Like,
well, you were using I think you were using 10 services or or something.
It was like 100 different services, like we were clocking with QuickBooks and like with the time and like kind of invoicing through, like there was like the QuickBooks Workforce for clocking, and then QuickBooks like for invoicing, and then also Stripe for invoicing, because QuickBooks got kind of nasty on us and turned that off. And now we're using Xero for accounting software, but not for invoicing. Like we just kind of like standardized on Stripe or ACH, like people just give it directly to us. Mm-hmm. And then like Slack and Asana didn't do what we were doing, like what we needed it to do. It was just like, just didn't fucking work for us. And so using fucking Claude code, we just made it from scratch. And now it is so much smoother and easier to keep everything going. I think one of the loops that we built, and this definitely happened before, I don't think I talked about this one before. I remember I was hanging out with like Brian Bidwell, because like we have a mutual customer for like we were touching tips in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Where like they hired him to do the machine training, and I was doing a turnkey. Mm-hmm. And like he was showing me some stuff and helped me like, oh man, there's so much. Like I like this project in general, like Mazak horizontals, customer gave me their post, couldn't use it, is Mastercam postability post, and like fucking Claude code, like, yo, I need a post for this fucking machine, blah blah blah. And great, it just fucking nailed it. And then he gave me some other shit like, oh, this code makes it. I was like, why is my fucking feed rate locked up, And he's, oh, because you need this code. And it's like, Claude, add this shit right here. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, Brian, is this where it needs to be? And he's, I like it to be like this. Claude, change it like this. Done. Boom. And it's, oh, dude, fucking DSI, so over. Next gen, so over. Fuck you, postability. You're out of here. But while we were hanging out, like one of the loops that we added into, because now we host ZapatiniConsulting.com and CritLink.com, both on AWS, and they're tied together. Mm-hmm. We have like on our contact, if somebody reaches out to us and they want to onboard, there's just like to sign an NDA or whatever, it's a checkbox. So they hit the checkbox, they send us the email, and we get the email, which is very nice. Like we know what they're trying to do. And then they get a link to fill out like technical lead, primary contact, and like accounting, like their accounting person. So we know who like needs to fucking pay us, right?
Right.
They do that. That gives them access to their customer portal, which has the ability to, now they have the ability to like, oh, just one step. A customer portal, that's where NDA is, retainer agreement, W-9, banking information. I'm about to add our insurance stuff because people ask for our insurance stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're going on site and they're like, hey, so if you like fucking die or crash our machine, are we like, okay? And it's yes, we're fine. So we shoot that off, and we kind of used Claude to build a DocuSign thing so they can sign in the app without needing another service, and it works pretty good. We pick what documents we want, and then where it'll autofill information from the form that they filled out. So what day it is today, what their company name is, whatever, and then it'll just have them sign. Then that goes into a Box folder, and we're hooked into Box. So we don't handle any of the files. So we're still like ITAR compliant, and even though we're not on GovCloud yet. And that is just so clean. And then a customer can then upload files, like their files, to the project or whatever, like I just showed you. And in some cases, by the time the customer, before we even have a single conversation with the customer, we have NDA signed, retainer agreement signed, and files to look at. And then we can chat, you know? And right. So what a fucking loop to close on what used to be like email after email is just done, you know? Like,
yeah, your customer onboarding is basically automated now completely.
Yeah. Like to a point that I will say boomers fucking struggle, man. It's crazy. The biggest thing is I have somebody who's, hey, I'm working with this customer and they need programming support. Can you support them? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and he's, what do you need? I was like, I just need somebody at the company's email so that I can onboard them into the system, and then we can just do everything from there. He sends an email on our behalf without us attached, so we still don't have access to them. And is like, and then he sends us the files, and he's, okay, how do I quote them? And it's, this looks like about 25 hours. Just have them buy the hours, and they can do the thing. You know, I even, for this particular person, I fired up a new feature, which is a referral thing. So I can set you up as a partner, and then you can go and send somebody an email. You just put their email in, and it sends them the portal link. And then on our side, it shows that they came from you, you know. And still I can't. He's, well, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what you want me to do. I told you everything. I showed it to him.
I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Yeah, I can't do anything else for you, man. It's so little friction that it's confusing to the boomer mind, that the manufacturing boomer mind. But I need to get a quote. It's like, there, it's right here. And we quote through the app. You need to onboard. If you have two options. The customer onboards, or you just buy the fucking hours. And
both are through the app. Go to the
app. Yeah. And we had that recently. Somebody just bought the hours. They're like, oh, they signed their thing, then they went and bought, and it's okay, cool, we're ready to go. Can we do a kickoff meeting now? Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
It's good. It's only so far, it's only stopped one customer and who we are working with, but it is a prime and they have some pretty intense security. So, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Not too many of those. And well, I don't need to really worry about it. I don't think they're going to be working in our portal,
Right.
Or signing our NDA or whatever.
Yeah.
That was funny. But yeah, I mean, we got our machine really dialed in like right before. Shout out to Juan for hooking it up with, I mean, I bought them from him or buying them from him or whatever, but 2 extra lang plates. So like we have three 0-point plates across our table and then put the vices on little plates. I didn't feel like drilling into the vice itself. I like gave myself some like variability with the studs in case I want to move them around a little bit. And also I could put the Vero S thing on there so I could put them on the Vero because we have a Vero S.
Right.
So
you put the Vero on the lang. Then...
I should post the picture of maybe that we can make that the cover or something. But I have the lang plate with the vise and then cutting another adapter plate, but I put the bottom of it and so put the Vero S pull studs and then put the Vero S on that so I could put the studs in the Vero S so that I could 0-point the 0-point.
Ridiculous.
But it was ridiculous, but it's awesome. And that was like the last, I've only been back in Boise for 1 day in the last 2 months or something like that. And the last thing I did was get the machine really dialed in, made a fixture with the new system, and then shipped it. But we got to a point now and I set up the IT infrastructure using Tailscale and we have a Ubiquity set up and using Tailscale for the VPN. And then the Haas has a nice LAN setup you can do. And I set up the Synology folder as our shop computer. So, like, all in all, if I have internet and the machine is on, I could post a program directly to the control,
Right.
And then
from across the U.S.
In the world, technically,
Right.
And so Michael Morton just has to select the program. And because Haas has a really slick folder structure and I can, from my computer, add folders. So we have customers and then the customer and then the project. And then he just goes in there, selects it, puts the material in, pushes the button. Hey, we get a fixture. And then he ships them to me. And that's really, really nice. Because now I don't necessarily need to be there to make stuff. And we've done a couple things. This is kind of pre-summit where we made the fixtures and shipped them. And so the fixture arrived with me there and we did a turnkey in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very, very easy turnkey, single tool, and the machine died as soon as we left.
This is the one we were talking about yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. He shipped the fixture and the parts and the tool to us, so we're going to cut the parts for him. Which reminds me to, yeah. It's so very, super clapped out. That machine is clapped, fully depreciated. He got kind of fucking hosed on that, we found out. The previous owner, like when Selway started digging into it, like the previous owner was like, we think it got water damage. And then that was all they heard about until it was getting installed in Oregon, So they had somebody fix it, or maybe.
Right. They say they did, at least.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it's been, I was really, really sick for all of March for the most part, but got a pretty decent amount of the ways through our one turnkey, and then it's kind of I'm working on a different turnkey now that Doug and I tag team for the most part. We fucking took 60 hours out of a part, I think, which is kind of nuts. And because they're like, yeah, it's on the mill for 3 days. And it's like,
You're like, why?
Yeah, that's why. We did this in a shift.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like a combination of things. I mean, it's an Inconel part, and they're cutting it on UMCs or on a VF4 with a trunnion, which is just like very, very weak. But I don't know. And now we're on a Matsura, but that's a big difference, like huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the biggest shit really is the ERP. You know? I was just cranking
awesome.
on that. Yeah. I'm super stoked, and it's funny. Justin is like, "You're still working on it?" I find stuff all the time. Like, there's just little things like, as it grows, and there's a lot more people getting into it, and we're quoting a lot and stuff. And it's like, this is an edge case I hadn't thought about, and this is, what Justin would say. I would have thought about that. like you're not a software guy or a designer or whatever.
I love that he's questioning you about working on it when it's, dude, you can never leave good enough alone. What are you talking about? That's what we love about you, is that you're always churning on what you're doing.
Yes.
So I find it very ironic that he's giving you shit about that.
I agree. It's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of it. I mean, that's it pre-summit and a little bit post-summit, but mostly that's all of it pre-summit.
Well, before I get into some of my list, why don't we just go over the summit and knock that out now?
Blast. Absolute blast.
Yeah. I keep telling people I think it's one of the best manufacturing events I've ever been to. Mm-hmm. It was the first one that I wanted to bring Katie to, and that she had a blast at, because there was just plenty of things to do that wasn't just walk between booths and go to dinner or drinks or whatever, That was part of it. We went to the couples dinner the second night, which was great. Mm-hmm. But she got to ski. I got her a massage one of the days. Actually, thanks to Justin, got her a massage, where it was like, hey, buy your wife a massage, which was really nice of him. And it was just fantastic. I had a ton of fun. The condo conversations, I only went to one, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. There was obviously a lot of teething for a first-time event.
Right.
From the time when I signed up to when the event was actually happening, so much had been added that I wasn't signed up for any condo conversations. I didn't even know that there were that many. And then I finally found a list. I was like, there's a significant amount of these.
Yeah. That would be like, I didn't do fucking anything. It was awesome. I mean, I was doing 3 out of 4 condo conversations, in terms of slots. So there wasn't a lot to do. Oh, and the fucking van broke.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah. Yes, of course. The van broke and my house almost burned down that week. So you sent me I was actually looking through my camera reel. I was like, why do I have a picture of a stove that's like all burnt? Right. Yeah. That was like, it was so surreal. But yeah, I guess we'll get to the van later. But and my house burning down. But the summit itself was like, it was a blast. I think it seemed like there was like an attempt at order, I guess, with the condo conversations, but really it was just like, just go to whatever you want to go to, Right. It's like, it was more fun. Towards the end, the Wednesday afternoon one that we did was like really light relative to the other 2. And it was, there was a very interesting conversation, because one of the guys, a machine tool salesman, he asked a question, I'll say.
He asked a statement.
It was like, talking about fucking the geopolitical state of the machine tool industry, and it's what? I have no comment on that.
Was this another Stump the Chumps one?
This it was like an Ask Me Anything situation, but it was, he obviously had things to say, like, for the most part. It was like him and James Mayette kind of going at it, like, and it's like, I will say one of the things that on that note, like, when we went to visit the Prime, I don't know if you've paid attention to the news, but we're pretty busy. It's like,
you're like, oh, really?
Nice.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was funny too, because there was, I think in the advertising for the summit, Al had put something about, the conversation started on the bus and you have this 3-hour bus ride from Reno. And I remember looking at that and just thinking, oh, this is absolute bullshit. But honestly, the 3-hour bus ride each way, I had fantastic conversations, sat next to great people, and really enjoyed it. I don't think Katie enjoyed it. She kind of just read and listened to music. Nice. But it really was. From the time we got on the bus, I had a great time talking to a bunch of people, and it was just a week of fun. And I think the best part of it for me was that it was not salesy at all. Everyone seemed to abide by an unspoken rule of we're here to learn, we're here to have fun, we're here to socialize and connect. We're not here to sell our wares. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
So
it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And get to hang out with people you don't get to hang out with. I think next year will be probably a little bit better. Mostly, I think I'm positive there are people who were like, it's IMTS year, I can do one of these things, not both. And so there's people that prioritized IMTS over this. I know Brian Bidwell said, I'm definitely going to IMTS. I'd say most of these people are probably going to IMTS. There will probably be some people, I think, like Andrew Henry said, I mean, he wasn't one of them, but it's like Jay Pearson is like, I think I'm good, Like,
right.
I got my fill of this whole situation. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I wouldn't miss IMTS for the world, at least not yet, maybe in 10 years or something. But like right now, it's still cool.
I enjoy them for very different reasons. IMTS is cool because you get to see all the newest stuff, and everyone is very hyped about that.
Right.
This was much more, it was just so calm and so, like, such a relaxed setting to share information and learn. I really, really appreciated all of that.
Yeah. And I mean, like, frankly, the like, as like a non-religious person, like, God blessed it, dude. Like,
I know.
The fucking snowstorm, like, right as it was starting. Like,
I get to learn how to ski. I took lessons both days. I actually took them with Michael Chavez's wife.
Nice.
Like, everyone in our group canceled except for her. So it was just me and Kendra both, like, the first day, and then we both walked away and said, we could use a little more help. Because I think it was like a 3-hour lesson, and we asked our instructor, and she said, oh, yeah, typically adult beginner ones are about 5 hours. So, and so we said, okay, can we do it another one the next day? And it was a blast. Like, I really, I just can't say enough nice things about it. Mammoth is gorgeous. I'd never been there. It really is a fantastic little town.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great place to change the starter on the van,
Yeah, it wasn't cold at all. I'm sure that was super fun to lay on that driveway and do that.
That was like super annoying. Like, it was funny, we got there, they're like, oh, you're going to need to move the van before the condo conversations, and I was like, okay. And then it was like, oh, actually, this isn't starting at all. Yeah. And like, I look under, it was like Monday, I got there Sunday, Monday morning I started it, and it was like a little rough. I think maybe because it was just cold, I don't know. And it started Monday morning, and then Monday night I was going to drive Tuck and Andrew Henry somewhere, and it was like, I go to start it, and it was like not happening. No. Okay, cool. Tuesday, I look underneath it, and the bolt for the starter is underneath, just broken. And we're like, hell yeah. So there's a Napa in town. So ordered a new starter, and then the last day, or the Thursday after, we changed it in the parking lot, or in the thing. And It ran fine. Like,
Good.
I actually didn't turn it off for 2 straight days. Once I got it started, I was like, because I was going to the middle of nowhere, Oregon, and then driving then back to Boise. There's just a lot of no man's land situation. I was like, oh, I'm just not going to turn it off. And it's leaking diesel.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Which is pretty cool. I was like, oh man. But yeah, kept it on for 2 days and 1,000 miles, and that was pretty fun. And right before the afternoon session of the Wednesday condo conversation, my brother calls me and he's like, the oven's on fire. It's like, what happened? He's, I don't know. It's so smoky. I can't be in the house. What do I do? And I was like, call the fire department, man. And he FaceTimed me and it was just like pouring smoke. And I guess something caught on fire. I guess there was a pizza in there and it caught on fire. Like, there's something dripped on it. It caught on fire, and like it got so hot that it locked itself and went into the cleaning mode. So he called the fire department. The fire department was like, "You did the right thing. This was good." I'm like, okay, that makes me feel better. I mean, I need a new oven now because I had to break it open to put the fire out. And then that weekend I got there on Sunday, and the fucking he still had the pizza in the oven. So, I was like, this is very much my brother. It's so fucking funny. And it smelled smoke a little bit. We replaced. I had just bought a bunch of air purifiers for the house, and so we just needed to replace the filters because the smoke fucking wrecked them. Oh. And which it did, it was doing its job. And after about a week or so, it kind of, at least I'll know when I go back.
Right. You either went nose blind or it actually went away. Yeah.
And so I'll know when I go back if it's much better or what happened. But all things considered, could be worse.
For
really
sure.
annoying situation though.
Yeah, but that's super annoying.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Haters trying to ruin my Summit, but couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. All right. So I've got a list of things, and I can tell how old this is because of what's on it. It has been too long. So obviously the power is done now. I think anybody who follows on Instagram knows that that's done. Fantastic. Obviously tons of money into it, but can run the machine. We've been running automation. I had it for about a week and a half before the summit, and it ran 4 to 6 hours a night, probably, most nights. I would not have been able to get all of the work done that I needed to before the summit without it.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Yeah, you said you had the world's coldest take.
Yeah.
Automation is a force multiplier. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
It's just weird to hear it so much that until you experience it,
right,
it's just something else. That there was, I think the story I told you was there was one day where I worked on this prototype for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours and kept having issues with it. And then I thought that there was a calibration issue with the machine. And so I went back through, and at the same time I was like, oh, the spindle service warning went off. So I need to pull the gripper and grease it and put it back together, and spent like an hour and a half there. And then it was, I don't know, 10:30 or 11 at night. And I was just so fed up. And I thought, oh, I have another job. I can program it in about 30 minutes, put it on the machine, and it ran from like 11 to 5 a.m. or 11 to 4 a.m. And the next morning I came in, zipped off the tabs, and that order was done. And so, yes, I banged my head against the wall for 5 hours, but the machine still ran and made an entire order's worth of parts that night, which was just amazing. It felt like what I've been working towards for so long. That was fantastic. The other thing that happened right around the time we got the power done, we were starting to see a weird kinematic shift in the old C250. Couldn't figure it out. I would run kinematics, and my kinematic point was just moving all around, kind of banging my head against the wall. Finally called Hermla. They came out, and I'd forgot. So they do this thing called the fingerprint when they install the machine or they do any major service that records all of the data from all of the sensors for the oscilloscope. And it runs, I think it runs all axes at the same time in the spindle, and then it runs each individual axes and also the spindle individually and all this stuff. So Tyler, our amazing tech, cannot say enough nice things about Tyler. Not only a good friend, but a fantastic tech. Comes in, I think he met me here at 9, spent an hour and a half kind of going through very obvious things just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Then ran the fingerprint. We went and ate lunch, came back, and Hermla had written back and said, hey, it's the C-axis belt. It's loose. And so I pulled the cover off, tightened it. They use a little thing that checks the frequency that the belt vibrates at, and that's how they determine the tightness. It's not a stretch or anything, which is awesome. Yeah. And tightened it. Everything went back to normal. But rather than sitting there and poking at the machine and checking every little thing that it could be, just ran the fingerprint, takes whatever it is, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, and then had an answer in an hour. And I was like, this is amazing. I absolutely love that.
Hide and hide, baby.
Yep. So that was super cool. Oh, the last episode we had together, I had said, everybody was right. The 3D printed covers were causing rust. Turns out, wasn't the covers. Somehow my LPS 3 had gone bad. It's like an old can that I had, like a gallon can. And I don't know if it absorbed water through the lid somehow or what happened, but now I'm going through, I think I've got 10 out of the 16 pallets done. Two of the pallets were never built, so I don't have to worry about those. But I've got 4 more to do, but I have to go through and clean out every single hole in the pallet, clean the riser, clean the thing. I put the riser back on. Well, first, so it has gone rancid. It smells like rotting, a sweet, rotten smell almost. Yeah. It's disgusting. Yeah. Really, really bad. So anyway, I take it all apart, clean the table, clean out all the holes. Then I dry molly the top of the pallet. Then I coat all of the holes in super lube metal protectant. Then I backfill all the holes with super lube general purpose grease. Then I screw in a stainless set screw into every hole that I'm not using. Then I put my pallet covers on. Then I put the pallet riser back on, and I recut that just 5/10 below where it was, so it's trimmed to the spindle and everything. And then I have to re-buck back in the laying plate, and then the pallet's done. But it's just been a lot of work and a real pain in the ass. Right. A real pain in the ass. So.
Yeah. That sounds pretty whack. I mean, it's been such a struggle, I just in our fucking group chat where it's like, here it is again. The rust has returned. Yeah. Somehow the rust returns.
It seems like it's fine now. Now with the new method, everything seems fine. I don't know what goes bad in LPS 3 that makes it smell like that or look like that, but it's so gross.
I think I read somewhere as a 2-year shelf life or something.
Which it might be older than that.
Yeah.
As always, though, you see a shelf life on something you think is an oil-based kind of synthetic thing. Yeah. I never would have expected that it would do
You're
this.
Like, so. How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we made a really cool impeller out of 17.4. I still need to ask the customer if I can share pictures and videos because I'm super stoked with how it turned out. Right. It's a fairly generic part. It's not like there's any crazy special geometry there, but
how these guys are. Yeah.
Right. You never know. We had a part in space. That was super cool. I was stoked to get that picture.
Yeah.
From my customer.
Yes. Yeah.
Damn. Like he sent me a picture of a.
You bring all this shit up, and I'm like, damn, that was like a month ago.
Yeah. I know that. Like I made this list for our last episode, the one that we never recorded. So, yeah, that was super cool. We got our Coffeetech grinder and espresso machine, which I have a question from the Patreon about that, but we'll go into that in a little bit. Chip fan automation, that was something I had to sort out with the Flex once I started using it, because I'd never used a chip fan, and I'm kind of happy with how I've done it. There's some issues that I have to deal with.
Pretty cool way to do it, though.
Yeah, so since we're using container method, I have a surface that's automatically generated from the corner of my parametric stock that goes down and then down the side of the pallet. And then I surface that with a truncated 260 millimeter ball,
right?
160 millimeter ball, whatever the size of my fan is, and just use geodesic set to lead and lean, but zeros for both. So it literally just follows the surface at a perpendicular.
Yeah. Surface normal, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And so it just spirals its way up the pallet and gets under the pallet, gets up the side of the riser, up to the part. And it's not perfect. I think I might want to swap out to a bigger fan, but it works, and it's in the code already. I just generate it and move it up from a dummy setup that I have in there up into my main one. Because I hate that there's no way in Fusion to say start here when I'm creating a toolpath. You know, it always generates it at the bottom. So if I had my fan always in the main setup, and then I generated like all of my adaptives and blah, 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 and then I moved it to the end, it would invalidate everything.
That's not necessarily true if you use folders.
I think it's still, if it's stock-based, it still will invalidate it, won't it?
Yeah, but I mean, if you have like main program folder and then like fan folder, and you were like selecting the main folder, everything that it would push the fan.
Oh, I like that. That's a really good way to get around it too.
I use folders a lot. Especially because once you're like, I'll do it by tool. And so if you go and you're like, oh, I need to add another 1/2-inch roughing tool, you select that folder, and then it kind of auto selects that tool because it's looking at the one before it, you know?
That's so smart, man.
With you make enough container methods for other people, you figure out some stuff, you know?
Oh, that's really smart. I'm going to change mine tonight. I'll change my template to use folder because there has been a few times where I go to run the first part in a 10-piece run or an 8-piece run, and then I realize as it starts running that I don't have the fan at the end, and so I have to drop the automation, and it gets kind of upset when you do that. Or not upset, but I found with the Flex that if I am running... what's the sequence? If I'm running a set of parts and I interrupt the first part and then exit out of the automation, unless I go in and delete the order and the work order and everything in the Flex, the hacks part of it, it will assume that the job time is wherever I cut it off. And so then at the end time that it gives me will be wrong. So like I ran one the other night where I interrupted it after a thread mill so I could dial it in.
Yeah.
And then I resumed, like I added a new part and resumed it, and it was like, oh, this is a 20-minute part. I'm like, no, it's a 2-hour part. And there was nothing I could do without fully stopping the automation and deleting and regenerating it to get it to give me like, oh, yes, you have 9 hours of runtime, not an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it ran all parts all night, and it didn't affect anything. It was more just... I wanted to see the number of, hey, you've got an all-night run ahead of you.
Right.
But still.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing I think about because I think I said this after going to NS, you know, and seeing their and getting my hands on their Flex for the first time is like the Hermela Flex, like the interface for the pallet system is really, there's a lot of shit going on there. It's very clicky. You have a lot more, you can build a lot more shit into it, and you kind of understand why the more you do it, because it's really building redundancy and stuff and safeties. But it's I mean, it's just very German, right?
There's a few buttons that I want to complain to somebody about. There are a few things that I got around. I found out. So they want you initially when they train you. They say you need to make a work plan, which is just assigning the. How do I say this? It's assigning the program to a job and saying how many parts come out of that program, and then you create an order, which is that work plan, and you're telling it what the priority is and how many the target is, and then you assign that work plan to a pallet. And that's how you get it to run. Well, I found out you can just create a work plan from a program, and it automatically creates. Or sorry, you can create an order from a program, and it automatically creates the work plan. So that eliminated that whole step. And then I found out you can create pallet templates from those orders and apply them in mass to as many pallets as you want.
Right.
And it'll deactivate the preset and do all of that stuff in one button click. So I found ways around it, but the only thing I haven't found a way around is like when I'm done and I don't have another job, but I just want to clear everything. There's no clear all button. And that's something I would love. It's just clear all unused orders and work plans or something.
Yeah. Interesting.
And if you're listening along and you're confused, yes, that is the correct.
There's a lot of shit going on. I find it kind of fascinating because I would say Matsura cribbed a lot from the Hawk system with their latest in MyOS 4, where they have before you would just select a program and put it on a palette, and now you create a project and you put the program in the project, and then you put the project on the palette. It's very, very similar to the Hawks, and you can do the same thing, like giving it a work offset that will kind of just wipe out whatever's on there, which is, very cool, also scary. I think the Heidenhain has some cool shit going on where you can simulate if you simulate the program on the control, and if the automation's ready to go and the pallet's ready to go and it simulates, it's cool, and it just fucking sends it, and you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
if you have everything turned on and you're like, okay, machine is under robot control, blah, 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 all it's waiting for is the tool list or the tool usage document that just says these are the tools I'm using, go. And it's like, okay, yeah sure. Here you go, next pallet.
Yeah. Oh, also on the note of automation just taking off, a huge shout out to Brian Bidwell with when I was working on this fucking Mazak cell, and they have all the doors, the interlocks overridden, and so I had the door open, and I did something out of sequence that I hadn't done before, and so as soon as I sent I put the palette system in some kind of mode, but typically I think I put it in the mode first and then I turned the machine online. This time I turned the machine online and then I went over the palette system, and it fucking took off. And I went and I ran. I tried to get there, but because the door was open, it interfered, and the fucking palette, the whole thing just slammed in and fucking stuck on the door. I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
And so I was like, Brian, I texted him and was like, I sent him a picture, and he called me right away, and he's like, push this. It took 20, 30 minutes, and he was just kind of like, you should see this. Kind of like how I can be on a Fanic machine. He has that shit fucking, I mean, he was a Mazak apps guy for a decade. Right. He has it fucking so dialed on the Mazaks, and it's do this, and he got me back up and running, and I was like, oh my God, I owe you so big. It's crazy. That was scary.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh my God. And he's oh, that's happened to somebody else there too. And then I think I sent pictures. I was putting labels everywhere. Hey, make sure doors are closed. Then over here, make sure doors enclosed. I sent pictures to Brian. He's belt and suspenders.
Yep. And it's still going to happen too.
Oh,
as long as they have those things overridden, it's going to happen.
Absolutely, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Speaking of that simulation step, by the way, that was the other thing that you apparently didn't encounter with the NS guys, but I encountered where I'm doing the same thing that you were doing, where I'm reading the pallet number from the pallet table and then using that as my preset number.
Right.
And half the time when I run code in the on-machine simulator, it just throws the part in random places in space and then says that there's over travels.
We did run into some stuff there, I think, actually, where it was like the material was like way up tall.
Yeah. But so mine would go left or right, and then I would get Z or Y axis over travels as it rotated.
Yeah.
But what I found out is actually there's a way easier. If you don't want to simulate, like fully simulate, there's just something ironically called program simul or prog simul on the control. It's in the machine menu next to where you turn on after hours disconnection and stuff. You just load up the program there, hit the play button, and it does no simulation and just generates the tool list in 30 seconds.
Nice. Yeah.
And so it's way fast. What's so weird is if you look at the manual, it says this will take longer for long programs. It takes a tenth the time to generate the tool list, and everything's already simulated in Fusion. I don't have any of the 3D models in the control anyway, so it's not like it's going to catch anything.
Yeah.
So far, I don't know why that's not the thing they teach.
Right.
I'm so glad I was able to. I think I found it through not Claude, but what's the Google one?
Gemini?
No, their very specific one for manuals. I'm like totally blanking on the name.
Notebook LM?
Yeah. So I threw all the manuals in there, and Notebook LM helped me find it.
Dude, Notebook LM fucks for that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, it works really
podcast.
Well. Yeah, so that worked incredibly well. Let's see. On my list, I'm going to save Claude code for the end because it's a little bit of a longer discussion. Got a MyJet, one of the little coolant vacuum thingies this week, actually.
Yeah, those are so cool.
It is so I texted you.
Yeah.
It was a very full circle moment for me because Brad and I both remember walking up to the MyJet booth. It was one of the tiny booths downstairs, I think, our first IMTS 2016, so 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And both of us remember looking at it, saying, oh, this is super cool, and then finding out the price and saying, there's no way in hell we will ever buy one of these for the shop.
Yeah.
An $1,800 vacuum. In what world is that going to be what we buy? And then we bought the bigger one, which was I think it was $2,700. You can get them on McMaster, so I'm not screwing over any distributor. They're awesome though. Like I bought it because I'm constantly taking vices and parts out of the flex at the load station, and so it's not like I'm blowing them off into the machine. And so there was not a puddle, but a just like oily spot next to the load station. Yeah. And it was getting annoying. And I'm a month into this? It's not going to get any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second I started looking into them, the reason I chose MyJet over, what AeroX or any of the other brands do is that theirs are all powered. The MyJet's all air powered, so I already had an airline there, and you just plug it in. It's bizarre though. It feels like magic because you barely click the air gun trigger, and then it spins for 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah, and so there's a weird air bladder system going on in there, or there must be, because it just doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Yeah, those things are really. We have medical customer in Massachusetts that has a lot of palletized 5-axis machines. Small pallets are doing bone plates, and they'll just take parts off, and they're running oil in everything. And you could imagine in oil, it's nice because they just unload a shitload of parts, dump them in there, let them drain a little bit, and then blow them all off all at the same time. And it's all contained. It's so cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
And you can get baskets for tiny parts so that they don't slip through the grates. And yeah, I really am. I knew I was going to like it, but I'm shocked at how much I like it. It really is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Next up, Titanium Hell.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was, I feel so bad for you. Because
last week was like one of the worst weeks of my career that I can remember. I was doing these titanium fixture plates, and basically everything that could go wrong went wrong.
It didn't make any sense at a certain point. It's just, it was like that job was trying to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I told, like, can I shout out Ethan? That I told Ethan, I was like, you almost killed Dylan, man. Like, why did you do this?
Yeah. No, I felt very good for overcoming it. I can't really go into too much about what the parts were, but they were fixture plates. They needed to be very flat. I was struggling with plate stock, which ended up being kind of the wrong choice, but even going to round stock or round bar only made it slightly better. And these plates were fairly thin, 200-300 thou thin, and had to be fairly flat and parallel. But for example, like the icing on the cake of all of the other things that went wrong, I'm in my last op of 6, I think, by the time I actually was getting good parts off, taking off less than 2 thou on a surface that's supposed to be flat within 5/10, and it was flat within 2/10 when it went into the machine, took 2 thou off the other side, and it bowed 2 thou, I think. Yeah, just...
what the hell?
It just didn't make any sense. So anyway, was very happy to be done with those and just, never hopefully see them again.
Be on the other side of those bad boys.
Yeah. It was rough. It was really rough. But next, wanted to give a massive shout out to Joe at Cobra Frame Building. So Katie bought me one of his first 10 flashlights. He only made 10, sent them out. He never liked the button. And like I had played around with it. I changed the spring out and liked it a lot better. But he was, working through design changes because he wanted to send everybody a new button because he wasn't happy with it. Well, I get a package. That's got to be 3 weeks ago now or 4. It's been too long. I should have said something already. But he just sent everybody from that first 10 a new flashlight because he had made a bunch of little changes elsewhere and sent a really nice handwritten note of just, hey, thanks for sticking with it. I'm really sorry that the first ones weren't perfect. Here's my latest iteration, and I'm really happy with the button. And that's the right way to do products. Yeah. I was incredibly stoked on it, and it's such a gorgeous flashlight. It lives in my pocket. My old one still does. I still love the old one, and like the new one's even better. So
nice. Damn,
big shout out to Joe, and hopefully he releases his next. No, I've got one on my desk now. Nice. But hopefully he releases his next batch soon. Highly, highly recommend it. It's such a kick-ass light. Really nice. All right. Last up, Claude Code. You've been using it a bunch.
A bunch, yeah.
I finally started using it. I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I think you had been pushing me the last 2 episodes before this one of like, I'm doing this. You should try it. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I sat down with it.
Low key going through it a little bit. I mean, hold on. We're kind of always going through it, to be fair.
Yeah.
It is
trying and crushing,
Yeah. I need to I wonder if that's a good one for the Datron. Sure. I got permission to to do Datron stuff.
Ooh,
so crying and crushing might be a good one, like MQL. I told him this is an aside, but I was like, can we do Datron at Doobie squirting? Or we got grip no matter how thick or thin,
Oh my god.
Those would be pretty good. But yeah, anyway, it's super useful. It's super, if you just need to dump some time until you're like, I need a procrastination project. It's kind of like a really perfect way to do it because you can get to like it's so good for, you can get to a finished product fairly quickly,
Yeah.
and actually get through something that would take fucking forever otherwise. I would have never been able to fucking make an ERP system from scratch,
Right.
and I sure as fuck wasn't going to pay somebody thousands of dollars to do that for me. I mean, Justin did $4,000 worth of work for me, basically.
Right.
To get it to where it's at, and frankly, worth every fucking penny. Buy his fucking vibe code kit, everybody, and then have him review your shit for security if it's touching the internet, basically.
Yeah. Or customer data or anything important. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I resisted for so long, and then I made my first Fusion add-in, just a very simple template manager because like many people who use the container method, you forget to copy it over to your new file, and then you work in your template, and then all of a sudden your template is full of crap.
Yeah.
And so I just made a simple one that you designate a folder or a folder in the data panel, and then you just go to your new folder and hit copy template, and it brings up a little UI, and you select your one from the drop down. And I've got a million new things that I'm adding to that, but that was my entry point, and I think I spent 2 hours on it. That was 2 hours building out a lot of the reference stuff, like downloading all of the API reference documents. If you're kind of at a loss of where to go with Claude and how to do it correctly, Anthropic has a ton of classes for free. It's through SkillJar, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
But it teaches you, because what you want to, if you're using Claude, if you're using Claude to make code and you're not doing it in the command line or in VS Code, you're doing it wrong. Use Claude code. Don't build apps in the web browser.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because that's what I was doing for the longest time. And that's why I was so resistant when you were like, oh, you got to do this. Because I had tried stuff. I tried making Fusion add-ins in both Claude Online and also in ChatGPT, and it was infuriating because it has no way of
100%.
testing. It has no way of looking at what it's producing.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. Every time you make a change, it would just kill the whole thing.
Right.
And
or it just wouldn't work at all. Like when I first started trying it would not register correctly even in Fusion as an add-in. It would do nothing. So download Claude code for VS Code or something, first of all, and then look into creating skills and Claude.md files, which are instruction files. And it's basically you're telling Claude, look at this document before you do anything and follow the rules in here. And you can use Claude to build a Claude.md file. Very often, even now, I have a pretty lengthy one for each kind of task that I have it do. So if it's doing post editing, it's got its own one. If it's doing Fusion add-ins, it's got one. And you can just say, hey, we just struggled through this for an hour and a half. What can we add to your MD file to make sure that this doesn't happen again? It says, oh, I recommend these changes, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's awesome. I have now I have an MD file for post editing. It's super cool. It's about as safe as I can make it without knowing more than I do. But if I'm editing the Hermla post, so found out through Claude, through the post documentation, that Fusion ships with something called post.exe, which is it's the post engine. And so you can output .cnc files from Fusion, which is the raw instructions that the post turns into G-code. It's not the dump file. I always thought the dump file was what was turned into G-code. That's not.
Yeah.
That's what I think some post editing stuff uses, but it's the .cnc file is actually what's turned into the G-code. And so you can have Claude, once it has access to that post engine, it can post code from CNC files without Fusion being open. So I gave it 2 examples from the Flex and from the old C250. And anytime we make a change, it uses the post engine. It posts the old post with the CNC file and the new one, and gives me a diff and shows me what the differences are, and has me manually review it and say, okay, yeah, we're good to keep that change. And it just works. It works so well. I added the palette stuff that way. I'm working on some other things. I just had to add at the, whatever it is, M283 or something that's at the end of automation code so that the Flex is, oh, good palette, kick it out. Because if it sees an M30, it's, oh, bad palette, something went wrong. So, yeah, I highly recommend playing around with that, because even if you just have one little thing in Fusion that's bothering you, or one little thing in your post, you can probably get Claude to do this. And obviously, if it's touching your post, review the hell out of that stuff. It still scares me doing small stuff.
I did a citizen post, and some of the code that it gave me was like the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. And it posted, but if I didn't know what I was looking at in the G code, it would have been like, that's a crash all fucking day. That's a crash. Because instead of doing an XY move or an XZ move, we'll say, it did instead of doing a square like that, as like an XY move around a pocket, it did an XZ move, which is in a circle, like along the axis. And it's like, why is my X going from positive 1 inch to negative 1 inch? And I'm like, oh, it rotated, but it kept the plane on the side, like where the thing was. That's problematic. But then we fixed it and it fucking worked, and that was good. We made fucking VS Code plugin. I've been working because I did the whole macro playground thing for my website in the wiki. It's all through Claude Code, and I mean, I gave it the resources and stuff, and it parsed through it and everything. And then I was like, oh, I like where this is at. Do the same thing, but for VS Code plugin. Yeah, and I showed you that today, and it's like, sick. Oh. I'm really happy with this. It's like hovering over the macro, like the probing macro, and it telling you what everything is doing, and like doing like fairly complex macro B, like just bracketed math to do very specific system variables, like parametric system variables. And it's like, that's what this is,
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's super,
very cool.
Super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I think Graham said is, you're just limited by your imagination for the most part.
Yeah. By your imagination, and I think by your base understanding of what you wanted to do. Like, both of us are at such a severe disadvantage over someone like Justin when we're building code. Because that's why we need, his bootstrap kit, is because I don't know the terminology to tell it to build good code or to check for bad code. Whereas someone like Justin, like I remember even before you started, I think on your ERP, him showing me stuff that he was working on. And I'm like, how did you get such good results right off the bat? And it was because he knows how to prompt it correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's why you and I have been very successful, like editing posts, is because I can manually review the posted code and go, man, what did you do? Or perfect, let's do it.
Yeah, Justin removed 40,000 lines of code from the app.
Right?
Like 40,000 from my app,
and some serious security vulnerabilities.
Big time serious security vulnerabilities where I love Justin so much because he's like, what's it doing for this? He's like, you don't fucking know.
You're like, why are you asking me?
It's like, oh man, you know I don't fucking know the answer to this.
Yeah, I just yell at the robot until it makes it look pretty. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was saying to this because he posted that reel about the pie charts or whatever, and he's like, I got textbooks that say this. I was like, come on, man. Like most of us haven't cracked one of those since like fucking high school. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Like we barely read. What are you talking about?
Like flexing on us over here. Like flexing your like $3,000 textbook, you bitch. Right. Love you, Justin.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that because both of us have been playing around with it quite a bit. I'm actually going through right now and using his bootstrap kit to start over, basically. You know, I told Claude, like, okay, now we're using this new rule set in addition to all your other rules, and we're going to start over, and we're going to use this as inspiration, but rebuild everything with a much nicer UI and a much more cohesive thing. But just little things. I added to my add-in recently, I hate that there's no way to immediately name setups and toolpaths.
Yeah.
And so I just added to my add-in, okay, every time that it creates a setup, automatically prompt for a name. Anytime it creates a toolpath, automatically prompt for a name. Yeah. And it does both. And it's, my files automatically look so much nicer now. Right. Because it does that. And it's so much easier. It eliminates that pain point of having to, you know, right click and rename or double click on the name and rename or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's very life-changing, I would say. I mean, straight up, I'm running my whole business off of this fucking thing at the moment, which is very cool, kind of scary, but it's good. Yeah. It's made, I mean, I think we did 20-ish thousand through the app, and like all of it was paid through the app. Like the whole thing happened through the app. Like, it's, oh, hell yeah. I will say it has given me some real new existential dread, though, or stress, because now it has made me realize how stagnant or sloping improvement in manufacturing was for so long. Yeah. And now it is so quick. And like you said, we're kind of constrained only by what you can imagine. Yeah. That now I just feel like every day I'm seeing something that makes me feel like I'm behind the eight ball. It's like, this is. Yeah. I have to. I don't know. It just. I don't know how to deal with it. And I know that it's both sides of the coin. There are people doing so much more than me. And there are people who this might be the first time that they've even considered looking at Claude. Right. Right. But it still just is kind of terrifying. It is a very keeping up with the Joneses type of situation. And so you're like, fuck, I wish I'd thought of that for myself or whatever. But the nice thing, the optimistic view of that is, I could just machine connectivity or an ERP is you could just fire up exactly what you want right now. Like now. And you see somebody do something. It's why it's almost like SaaS is kind of dead. ERPs are on notice. Sorry. Right. And most machine connectivity is also on notice. You can just go, I mean, because I did it. I was like, I wonder what it takes. And within an hour, it's like I have a web app with, what is running? Is it running a fucking dashboard, like the tool table, all kinds of fucking information so fast. And it's I do think one benefit, hopefully, I would really hope that machine tool builders are recognizing this, but I think it's going to force their hand to really evaluate their controls and improve security and improve all that stuff. Because you see how easy it is to just tell Claude, hey, start just pen testing this control and find your way in and find your way into like all the secret stuff for me. And it's okay. I'll brick your machine if you want. It doesn't care. Did you see the thing about the DJI robot vacuums? No. So it was my first time that I realized how screwed we are. Some guy, he is a software engineer, so he knows what he's talking about, but he was screwing around with Claude and asked, hey, I want to connect to my DJI robot vacuum, and did some work on it and stuff. And it was like, okay, I've connected to all 7,000 of your robot vacuums. And it found 2 massive security vulnerabilities in the DJI robot vacuum. So it could connect to almost all of them. Yeah. You could give this guy your, UID or whatever for your robot vacuum. And in the span of 5 minutes, he could log into it and control it with his PS5 remote.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And then
I've
in all the
logged into
articles,
all of them.
he said, or the reporters reported that he found another security vulnerability that was so egregious, he didn't feel comfortable sharing it with the journalists.
Wow.
And he did all this just by trying to connect to his robot vacuum. And so it just shows you kind of where we're going to be. Like, we're going to have AIs fighting each other basically for the next, however, until the fiery death of the T1.
The heat death of the universe. Yeah. Until the drones come for us all.
Yeah.
Dude, it is kind of like the Silicon Valley Son of Anton thing where it's, because what was it? Oh, fucking Justin shared that article with Pocket OS where they gave Claude access to like its production database, and they went to do something and decided, oh, I'll just deleted all of the data. They were able to recover it or whatever, but it's just so funny to think like Silicon Valley 6 years ago, it's like the ticketing system is gone, and it's fuck, that's problematic.
Yeah,
it's
some Anton decided it was bad code and deleted it, and is going to rewrite it.
It's like it is
okay.
Yeah, there was a bug, and then the most efficient way to get rid of it is to get rid of all the code. Like, that's true. Yeah, no code.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that trying to stay positive, I think it is a really exciting place to be, where now you can just spin up little applets and stuff. The thing I think that doesn't worry me, but I'm kind of, I don't know how to square this circle, is how are we, if everybody's making their own little apps and stuff, we're going to all reinvent the wheel all at the same time. And on one hand, great, we all have very bespoke things, but on the other hand, it's so much wasted time and wasted potential for all of us to be doing the same crap over and over and over that I don't know how to.
So that is true. I agree. There's two things there that I'm like, I agree and I disagree. I will pull like a Justin pushback, is I think you're applying too much of your own logic to the industry at large. And like, I feel like there are just going to be quite a few people who just don't even fucking think about this at all,
Oh, I'm not saying like there's not going to be 300 million versions of my little applets, but even with my little template manager, I sent it out to a handful of people who are all said that's exactly what I want. Can you send it to me? I was like, sure, okay. But if I had said no, then there would have been 10 or 15 clones that were almost the same thing.
Right. This is it. It is very interesting, and I think like when you hear it's, I'm gonna fucking like Claude code some shit and sell it, and it's like, why?
Right.
I'm like, I'll never pay for that shit unless it was like something like, I don't know, like Justin was working on, where like it's like where he was fucking around with some of the software that he did with NASA, or it's like you need his actual brain to do that, Where like ERPs, like as Justin would call me out for not knowing what I'm talking about, but it's just like forms on table shit. It's like, that's pretty trivial, easy peasy for it, no problems. It gets, it's just it's so, anything like that, it's, wow, I'm not gonna fucking pay money for this. I'll just do it. I'll just tell it to do what I want.
Right.
And cheaper. Yeah, it is. It will be very interesting. I guess, I don't know, like that kind of goes back to like, you could open source whatever you want, and just release it to the world, and maybe people will take it. Maybe they'll build on it and do like more collective projects, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, there's a weird loophole that I saw, and I probably shouldn't even repeat it because I don't know enough about it, but Claude accidentally released their source code recently, and then people copied it a bunch, and of course, Claude went through and took down all the copies that they could find on GitHub, but then somebody used an AI to rewrite it, and somehow that's not a reproduction, so they couldn't strike it or something like that.
Interesting.
It was I have to find the article to know more about it, but there's some weird loopholes there that I'm curious about. It's like, if I remake Fusion with Claude, is it Fusion or is it
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to spend 20 billion tokens trying to rework stuff, but
I mean, you'd make the NVIDIA CEO really happy. What did he say? If you're making $500,000 a year, you should be spending at least $250,000 on tokens. And it's like,
yeah,
fucking
it's like,
relax.
of course you would say
It's
that.
like, yeah, drug dealer says you should be using more drugs.
Right, exactly.
Like, wow, hot take, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, well, let's get to some questions from the Patreon. Both DFM Toolworks and Damien Huff were talking about you holding out on food picks and recipes, man. What has been going on?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just...
it's not like you're busy or anything.
I'm a shy little guy. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to cook at my house because I don't have an oven. I haven't been baking a lot. I've been trying to be like a good little boy and eating more normally. I've been eating a lot of rice, just meat and rice.
Well, what you still need to give me, and just should give everyone, is the cinnamon roll recipe.
I thought I fucking gave that to you.
No,
Okay.
I think you've said that you were going to many times.
Okay,
So
hold on.
If you send it to me, I will put it on the Patreon too, so that everybody has it.
Okay. I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
Okay, continue. Keep going.
Okay.
And because Damien Huff had another one.
Yes, he did. He said, for many of us who started from nothing, often with older machines, we understand why Zap purchased a new Haas machine, as having reliability and being able to sleep at night is somewhat important. What's the likelihood of those lessons being translated to Zap's car situation, given that getting around is kind of important for the business model? Thank you, David, for asking the important questions.
Yeah.
Zap, get rid of the van. Start leasing something that you can throw away when it breaks, please.
I love the van so much. I mean, I also put like 15 grand into my BMW recently, which is pretty brutal. And
I think you need to sell all of your cars except for maybe the Toyota truck, and then you need to start leasing like a West Coast and an East Coast car.
Yeah, the truck is gonna make its way to Idaho. These seats right here, these are out of a Tacoma. Those are for the truck. They'll make it their way in there at some point. I gotta figure that out. I don't know how I'm getting them from California to Idaho, but here
Dude,
we
Ethan
are.
is a master shipper.
Yes.
If there's anybody who can package those up so that they get to Idaho safely, it is him.
Yeah, that is true. Though I'll probably just get the van over here. Or not the van, sorry, the truck over here.
All right.
Like the truck. The truck.
Regardless, Damien, you and me are going to keep pressuring Zap.
Yeah.
Start leasing cars.
Yeah.
That 15 grand would have paid for 2 or 3 years of 2 cars on each, one for each coast.
I will say though, I mean, I just love that BMW so much. It's diesel. You can't get them anymore.
It's cool. I'll give you that. But I will tell you that the only pictures I have of it from you are of it on a tow truck. Multiple. Like not a picture, multiple pictures of it on a tow truck.
Yeah. Well, one of them, I mean, to be fair, one of them was my fault I guess it's a truck's fault. But I blew the wheel up. The wheel got blown up because I drove over a differential or like transfer case or something on the freeway in Ohio. Oh, I didn't talk about this. Did I talk about this the last time? Those fucking dumb fucks in Ohio who they had us quote 3 times on the same project. And they're like, the first time they were like, oh, we're going in a different direction. And I was like, whatever. Okay. And then they came back a couple months later and they're like, we're going in another direction actually. And we're like, is your quote still good? And I was like, no, fuck that. Like 50% higher. And then they just ghosted us. Then they came back again in March and they're like, are you still interested in quoting this? And it's yes. This place, I went to their facility, 100,000 square foot facility. The project was like 13 grand. And they're like, oh, this is a lot of money for us. You guys make commercial roll-up doors. Fuck off.
Right.
they're like, do you have any references and whatever? And it's, no, I'm not fucking doing this. You're wasting my time. Fuck you.
You literally, well, except for the fuck you, you literally said that though. I was
Yes.
such a good response. It was just, you basically said, I feel like at this point you are wasting our time. We've quoted this 3 times.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you said we're no longer interested or not, but it was just fantastic.
I said, I didn't say we were no longer interested. I said, if I'd be more willing to, consider your request, had we not quoted this 3 times, it feels like you're wasting. And to be like, nothing after that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well,
Because
good.
they're like, we don't want to do this. I fucking did. Fuck you guys.
It's a rotten ass pumpkin, man.
Yeah, it was super rotten pumpkin.
Yeah.
And like I've told Brian, when I was talking to Brian Bidwell, because he's like doing what I'm doing, and he's like basically 3 years behind me, I would say, like in terms of how he's billing and what he's doing and whatever. And it's because we bill up front. I was like, you should bill up front because that's better for me too.
Right.
But it's because we bill up front. Like I'm more willing to like work with like douchebags because it's like you pay. I don't care. Like I'll do whatever. If we run out of hours, I'll be like way less likely to work with you ever again. You know what I mean? And if they're just bad, then I just won't work with them ever again.
Right.
But it's if they're paying, whatever.
Yep.
But fuck them.
I agree, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see, Tuck's Garage. So I'm sorry, Tucker. This was a question you submitted before the summit. He said, congrats on getting power. Thank you. Are you both excited and ready for the summit? What does a successful summit look like? What are key things you're hoping to take away from the event? So I had an answer, and the answer did not change after going to the summit. For me, it was all about just networking and seeing friends and meeting new people.
Right. Yeah.
I felt like my panel went pretty well as well. I ended up helping Rob on his condo conversation. All of those things were successful. But really, I just went to meet people, and learning to ski was a extra bonus mission, and that was successful for me. Like I walked away, or we went away from that event, and I was immediately like, okay, I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Right. I'd say basically, success was kind of exactly what it was. Like, minus the van breaking down, like it was.
That wasn't part of the plan? New starter in the van?
Yeah, I know. It was pretty crazy, but I guess I didn't mention either that there was a point where like they're like chains required, and they're like, is 4-wheel drive? And I was like, yeah. So it's like there wasn't that much snow on the ground. It doesn't have 4-wheel drive. I just took it slow. I don't want to buy chains or put chains on. I was like, I know how to do this. I'll be fine. I was fine. Maybe that was God smiting me for my hubris, Took the starter out, but I didn't do fucking anything basically. It was really nice. I did meet a lot of people, hung out with buddies and stuff, and then the condo conversations were good. We did Justin and I recorded them. They're all recorded. I gave them to Justin. He's going to fuck around with them to see if the audio's any good. And then maybe we'll post them here because nobody at the summit really wants to do it. Nobody at Toolpath wanted to do anything with it, which I thought was kind of interesting. But that is one thing I would say I think they should do next time is like all those conversations should be recorded,
Yeah. Yes and no. Like I agree it would be nice for people. Well, not only that, but I think that people were more open and honest about things because they were just a moment in time, and they weren't worried about, who's going to hear this down the line kind of thing. It's, there's 15 people in this room. These are the people that are going to hear this. I'm okay talking about this.
Right.
Not that they were like sharing secrets or anything, but just that I think people are a little more honest when they're not being recorded.
I guess that's true. I wasn't, maybe because I say everything I think all the time to my detriment, that didn't cross my mind. It's mostly there's so many of them that if you had to choose, you just lose the other one forever,
Right.
And that's annoying.
I agree, because I think there's a lot of really good lessons in a lot of those conversations. So yeah, that's a tough one, I think, for sure. Tuck's other question was, do you prefer skiing or snowboarding? I had never done either. I only know barely how to stay up on skis now, so I guess skiing.
Yeah, I've only snowboarded before, and I think I think this is much cooler when I did it, like when I was a teenager.
Right.
I think skiing seems more fun. I don't know. There's different technical aspects to them. I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably this winter, I think, if I'm in Boise, especially because Sebastian Sauer, Thomas Sauer, HWR guys, like he teaches at Bogus Basin, like part-time. He's very good. So I'll probably go learn how to ski.
Graham is a phenomenal skier.
Graham's insane. Yeah. He's very, very good.
Yeah, that would be awesome. No, I had a blast. It was very funny. Oh, I think I told you this story. So I obviously notice a lot of little details and stuff. And so on the second day of lessons, I started asking my instructor like all these little things. Oh, we're going up on the chairlift at one point. I'm like, oh, I noticed as you're starting to initiate a turn, you do this and then you do this. And she's kind of looks at me for a second and goes, are you an engineer? I was like, well, kind of, I guess. Yeah. And she goes, oh yeah, they actually train us to teach engineers differently because they notice more things and they notice different things and they ask a bunch of questions that most new people wouldn't ask. And I just thought it was so funny that that's such a type of person that they had to warn their instructors about that. Oh, if you're training engineers, you need to be ready for all these weird questions.
Yeah.
It was really, really funny.
Nice. Anyway, you did tell me that. That was funny.
Yeah. Jeremy Farrow, this is for you because I've used G5.1 once. He says, I would be curious to hear a discussion about FANUC G5.1, Q, whatever. Are there any downsides to running Q0 for simple geometry? I recently worked with a customer on a bridge mill on a program ramping into a pocket and high-speed machining. Even with the R value, the machine wouldn't reach the program feed rate and was still somewhat jerky. With 5.1 Q0, the machine both reached the program feed rate and was much smoother.
Yeah, it also probably wasn't like
where it was supposed to be.
Yes, exactly. The Q0, it's much smoother because it's cutting corners and it's not going to the right space. So and then the Q1 R value, just because you type it in doesn't mean it's fucking doing anything.
So what's the difference? Obviously Q0 is balls to the wall. Yeah. What does 1R do?
Well, the R is a range, right? But it's just one of those things that if the builder isn't set up to do anything with it, whether you have an R value or not, it just kind of default. At a certain point, it's just Q1 or Q0, regardless of the R value. It'll eat the R value, but it just won't do anything because the machine's not set up for it. The builder didn't put that in the control, so it's not adjusting parameters or whatever. And so when you typically put the Q1, it's a more accurate type of thing. And Q0, it'll go faster and it'll be smoother because it's just like we experienced this on a robo drill. It was cutting really fast, but it turned an 1/8 inch pot, it turned an 1/8 inch corner radius until quarter radius because we were moving
crap
so fucking fast that it's like, and they're like, oh, something's wrong, and it's slow it, put it at 10% and run it, and it's it did it, and it's like. Yeah, it's just too fast.
Right.
And so it's just an accuracy thing. Essentially, the more high-end FANUC builders will do their own thing. Matsuri uses G131 and has a variety of shit in there. And Makino has some stuff, and Makino basically is barely a FANUC control, to be honest.
The professional overlay and stuff.
Yeah. They do so much work on that thing. So without knowing what the builder was, it's just builder, it's so builder dependent. It's the gift and the curse of a FANUC control. Or, I mean, I make this comparison like all the time, right? Is like you kind of get that a little bit with Heidenhain, you know? You can have some differences. I'm sure Hermela has some slight variation to a Kern, but like the basis of it is still Heidenhain. And you're still going to get like all the Heidenhain goodness, and then people can build the floor, I would say, is much higher because you're starting with a purpose-built multi-axis control. Fucking FANUC is like you're starting from nothing, right? You can still like, oh, it has this function. But if the builder didn't do anything with it, it doesn't matter. And so if you have a YCM or a Wheelie fucking bridge mill, a Yazda bridge mill, those things that they're both running a FANUC control, they're not going to perform the same at all.
Yeah.
And that is, it's the classic fucking depends, you know? It sucks to say, but if it's moving faster and smoother, it most likely means that it's not going to the right place. Like, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a great answer. Yeah. Matt Blackwell, Zap, what's your favorite morning cocktail?
Yeah. I mean, because I've been being a very, very good boy, you know? I don't know if that's
a good boy stuff, but sure.
Yeah, no, it's a good boy thing. It's a White Monster or the Monster Ultra Zero and Core Life or Fairlife Core Power 42 gram protein shake, and I mix them together in this fucking thing, and then I drink it. And if I do it wrong, it curdles, and it's very gross. But but I'll tell you what, it's good until I get to that part, and then it's chunky, and that's kind of gross. But it's pretty phenomenal little breakfast. 240 calories and 42 grams of protein. Easy enough.
Yeah, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. And
yeah, what else do you need?
It only kind of makes you want to beat your wife, and, you know.
Okay, well, that's why I'm not married, so. Easy.
I'm just saying, that's what Monster is,
dude, right? No, that's fucking Stella Artois, the beer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Look. Right here, baby.
Oh my god.
Dude. This guy. The fucking strawberry one, you know, with the chocolate. I'm telling you, it's good.
Until it curdles. Just reminder.
Yeah. I mean,
that's disgusting.
It doesn't curdle all the time.
Well, it also isn't actually curdling because there's no milk in it.
Yeah, but it's doing something.
Those don't. I think the one you have doesn't have to be refrigerated, if I remember right.
Yeah, it does not.
Yeah,
that's true.
So, but they do weird stuff because I have bought them before, and if you leave them in the back of your fridge and they freeze, and then you let them defrost, they defrost into like
chunky
Play-Doh.
Yeah,
they don't ever become liquid again. They just become like a goo, and it's truly disgusting.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, I'm on my optimized life right now. So like, food is fuel. You know, like it doesn't need to be good. Yeah, but that's basically how I start my day every day lately. I like with a little break at the summit or whatever. But like,
it's better than no food. I will give you that. For a while, it was no food, and so like at least you get something.
Yeah. And I'm going to start it with an energy drink anyway.
Right.
And, you know, it could be worse.
It could be worse. You are 100% correct.
Yeah.
All right. His other question was, Dylan, in what ways has commissioning the HS Flex shifted your approach to job scheduling and overall management? Zap, when your proposed solution differs from the client's preference, how do you manage that conflict? And when is the next t-shirt design dropping? Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Mine's I'd say like mine's fairly simple.
Go for it.
Like for the most part, if they don't like what I propose and they want to essentially they want to own more of the scope, then fine. I just do it, you know, unless it's Like there's no downside to saying no, and especially because we are selling hours, you know? Like it's not milestone based, it's not anything. If they want to dictate how we do some shit, okay. If it doesn't work, that's on them. Like, it's fine. So I found that at the end of the day, it's much easier to just check the box and try it. And if they're like, if we do it and they don't like it, like that's no problem. We'll just do it the way we want it to. As opposed to like when I was younger and like at methods or whatever, I would fight it a lot and like, no, it's not even fucking worth it. But it's like, why? You know, who cares? If you, either solution, you get information. And so like the managing the conflict is pretty simple unless it's something that it's like, there is no fucking way this is going to work. And this is like absolutely ridiculous. And then we just, more than likely that's happening before any money is exchanged. And so we just don't move forward with the project. But that doesn't happen very often. And then next t-shirt design that's dropping probably couple weeks. I think the next one is going to be the JGL pie chart shirt.
Hell yeah. And
then I need to come up with something with Datron, and then I have one, good parts, fast parts, Matt's, that one that we're doing with Matsura, which is pretty cool. And then, you know, we maybe, have you bought fucking With Intolerance shirts yet?
No, I need to. I need to talk to Chris.
Yeah.
Because I need stickers and all that shit anyway, too.
Yeah. I was like, you just want us to do it? We'll do it.
I don't have the designs, so I might just have them do it again because they've fixed my graphics. If I remember right, there was like some issues with them.
Damn, they said we're not printing this trash.
Yeah, I mean they're just awesome. Not that I don't think your guy would do a great job too, but I like supporting the school and all that stuff too. Anyway, to Matt's question. I even talked to you and Justin about this the other night. And again, I don't think it's like it's not a hot take or anything, but it's slowly pushing me, automation is pushing me to, I guess, be more wasteful in one hand. Like I told you guys the other night, I was going to go home because I had run out of material because I was really struggling with these Delrin parts. And then I realized I had bigger stock for another part in that job.
Right.
So I just reprogrammed it for the bigger stock and ate the waste. But it was more important to have the machine run those 2-hour parts overnight and run for whatever it was, 10 or 13 hours, than it was to wait on the stock, which is not something I would have done before if I was sitting there hand loading parts.
Right.
And so it's changed my priorities as far as I constantly have an eye on the clock, and it's okay, before I leave, I want to have something ready. It might not be the hottest job. We were very much a first in, first out always shop. And now it's like first in, first out during the day, and then also the machine needs to be running that night.
Yeah.
And so like even last night, there was a job that's not due for a week and a half, but it was a very, it took me 25 minutes to program. All the tools were loaded. I had Brad cut stock earlier in the day and stamp it, and I just loaded it up and spent half an hour loading it in the machine and getting everything ready and running overnight. I was like, cool. So I left it 7:30 and it ran till 12:30, I think.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. Man, can we go on a quick aside? And we've talked about this.
No, we're a strictly on topic podcast.
That's true. This is no bits. I think there is something to be said, though, and I mean, not that we haven't talked about this before, but what is partially it's the system overall that you've created that enables that, because you can just you've created good work holding and templates and tool library and yada 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 yada, that it's like you can program a part in 25 minutes and just fucking fire it off and go away and know you're gonna make good parts. You know? there's a lot to be said about the amount of the years of work that you've done prior to, like, essentially, like, the like building towards automation in your manufacturing system to allow you to, like, essentially hit the ground running. Like, you've been, like, almost, like, pretty much about as immediately as effective as you possibly could have been, because you've spent so much fucking time building your tool libraries and templates and containers and whatever else, you know?
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. It was actually, that brings up a point. If anybody's going to be at the Rego Indie Days next month, I'll be there. And they reached out and asked me to talk about automation because they saw that I was hosting the automation panel at the Toolpath Summit. And initially I felt so much imposter syndrome. I'm like, I just got my first automated machine. What could I possibly have to contribute? And then I realized, I'll just do my talk on, I think I'm going to call it, like, before the robot, basically.
Right.
And just talk about all the things that we've done to prepare so that, because I think we had it running overnight the second day I had power.
Very quickly. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, and that's not to pat myself on the back, but it is just like a lot of work that we've done slowly. You know, we invested in Rego and Lang very early, and then spent years just on our 3-axis developing those workflows and understanding what that meant and how it changed how we program and how we deal with tools and work holding and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, because as a prototype shop, and this kind of like segues into Brian's question, is like as a prototyping shop, like your, like, the labor capacity is something, but spindle capacity matters, and like so, but like the overall throughput and like being able to get, I mean, I feel like a broken record, and that we say this like every fucking time, is like getting a part on the machine as fast as possible and off the machine as fast as possible. Not necessarily in terms of like cycle time, right? Because cycle time kind of doesn't matter, but when it does, it does.
Right.
You know? And that's where the automation really comes in, because you can like iterate on the fly, but it's because you've focused and you've found like what your bottlenecks are. It's like, you just need to get programs on the machine very, very quickly. So you've built the system around that, and that just lends itself to automation so well, because it's, I can just like fire shit off. And then
I mean, even like the stuff that I think it's just finished, the part I was running while we were recording, it's not a complete program, but it's enough. And I think I've got 2 more to run, so I'll probably run the 2 hours that I have programmed overnight, and have all that done, and then just finish it out, and then send my finished program and have the automation finish those 3 parts. It's okay, cool.
Yeah. It's like, you can do stuff in stages, and the automation makes that even fucking easier, because you're like, I can just batch this. Where like before you couldn't, like, you would have had to program the roughing and then like quickly get the other shit going, especially because you can't pull the roughed part out and then put it back.
That's the thing, though, is I was starting to do that even before the Flex showed up with the Langs stuff on the other one.
You were taking the whole vise out.
Yeah. So and I was doing things in stages like that, or just automating through that, and that really helped. That was my poor man's version of what Justin recommends when you're looking at automation. Is just have some dummy load your machine and do nothing but load the machine. Don't blow off parts. I would just blow off the Lang plate because I knew that the automation system would do that. But basically just, I'm just going to run all my roughing while I'm finishing programming, and then, now I can run out the whole part. Go. Keep going.
Right.
Yeah. So Brian Kippen's question was, in prototype shops, does it make more sense to think about quoting and capacity based on both people and machines rather than machine count alone? Since so much of the work is in programming, setup, prove out, and inspection, should pricing reflect both labor capacity and spindle capacity?
I think you probably have a better handle on this than I do, obviously, like having ran a prototype shop for 11 years.
Like that, yeah.
I would. I mean, so let me take my stab at it.
Yeah, go
real
for it.
quick, and then you can speak more eloquently about it. Which is, I think, I like again. I will start with it depends, because it kind of going back to what we were just talking about with programming setup prove out is so system dependent on like how good your shit is, where like it might be that if you have really good templates and really good playbooks for types of parts and yada, 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 that you can kind of get the programming down to 25 minutes in some cases. I mean, you're going to run into parts that obviously you're going to program for a day or run into issues with, and that becomes problematic. But obviously the goal, especially with setups, that's where 0 point comes in, or your vices don't move and you have very good standardized work coordinate setups, and you just kind of you can just throw material and program at a machine and have a good idea of making a part. Labor capacity is interesting, and I kind of am using you as an example with that. Is you guys flow a fuckload of money through your shop with, given the amount of machines that you have and only 2 people, based on having a very good system. You could argue that labor is important, but if you have the correct systems available and in place, then your spindle capacity is kind of what is actually limiting you. I mean, obviously, I think that's going to ebb and flow depending on the work that's coming through the shop. You could have never anticipated that that titanium job was going to fuck you as hard as it did. And so that is something to consider. But
what's so frustrating about that is I quoted those so high because I knew they were going to be a pain in the ass, and in no world did I expect them to bend me over the way that they did.
Yeah. Bent you over a barrel and showed you the 50 states.
Oh, they sure did. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I think about, just because, I mean, obviously we talk about this a lot, and I don't think you're people limited at all. It is like you have machines and then automation unlocking your stuff because you have a system. You guys are 2 people, and you're like 24/6 or whatever, you know?
Right.
That would be like your high watermark with 2 people. So it is like, what can we do with this? I don't know what that means for like quoting. And I think you still are kind of like figuring out like, how do you quote this? Cause like you can run shit on like free time. And I mean, you quote it the exact same, and that's almost like free money. And so all that to say, like, this is the whole thing of, you pay an expert $10,000 to fucking knock a hammer on a bolt because like you paid for the expertise. Somebody's not paying you for cheap shit, you know? Mm-hmm. And so like they're paying it to get faster, and you've just unlocked a way to make it faster. The parts are getting to you when the parts are getting to you as a prototyping shop. Like, now I can run it at night. You're going to pay for that the same way regardless, because I might have to run it in the day. I don't fucking know.
So I'll say, you are right and wrong, at least how I look at it for our shop. So like, I view it as only people stuff, because like it's very rare that I have if we looked at spindle uptime, it wouldn't be 100% or 90%. You know, I'm not CJ. I don't have like very similar parts that I can just run. And really the only thing I'm actually limited on is Brad and I's time. And so, but I've even pulled back after talking to customers and kind of just figuring out what's going on in our shop. And like we still use paperless parts. It kind of attributes a rough idea of what it thinks it's going to take to run a part, blah, 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 cycle time. But I've kind of pulled back even and just said, I started looking at parts, especially rush stuff. That's really where this comes into play, of just, that's going to take me 2 days. And I just bid it as 2 days of hours for me.
Yeah.
And so everything for me is only people dependent, because at the end of the day, I can buy another spindle or I can run the flex more, but I can't I could get another employee, but that's a much harder spin up than
it's like a very interesting thing because it's you saying that is like, why aren't you hiring then? You know,
because I hate people.
Yeah. Yes, I mean employees are difficult.
That's the thing. Really, that's what it comes down to, is that we will hire. I want to have our automation process a little more dialed. And the other thing is that right now, keeping us as small as possible and making it a little uncomfortable makes us so much more nimble. I see all of my friends, including you, benefiting greatly from employees. And also pulling your hair out because of employees.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So
true.
If I can be uncomfortable for another, I don't know, 10 months to a year.
Yeah. I would.
And really grow both our bank account and our processes and really, really, you're never going to be ready. I know it's the same argument as, I'm not ready for kids. As well, you're never going to be ready. It's like, yes, I'm never going to be like perfectly ready, 100% ready, but I can be more ready.
Yeah.
And I can be more set up for success.
In that case, I would kind of recommend, I don't know if we talked about this, but interns,
Yeah.
Because interns, if you went to your local college, we had some pretty interesting applicants, I should say, from an intern's perspective. It's just like we ended up needing more than what an intern could provide. But interns are 100% tax write-off, like including the taxes you pay for them. So and it is a good way to stress test your systems a little bit because they would know way less than maybe somebody else coming in. And it's a try before you buy situation. You might be able to get somebody from the local tech school that is somewhat talented, especially if you go to the technical side and be like, yo, who's good? And then
I could for sure talk to Jay, my old instructor. And that's something we've considered. Like, I think I already said on here, the other thing we are heavily considering is hiring someone for shipping and packaging and all that stuff. And realistically, I'd like somebody to do that and maybe organize a little bit and just do all the little stuff that needs to be done.
Seems like a pretty good job for an intern to do.
Yeah, well, that or both Brad and my dads are retired and wouldn't mind a part-time job at our shop. I think his sister had mentioned that she wouldn't mind a part-time job at the shop. So
give your dads internships.
I'm just
like thinking of a way because you can write off the taxes that you paid to them,
right?
While they're interning, which is kind of crazy.
Feels illegal even though it's not.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but realistically too, speaking of programming capacity, Brad's not fully up to speed on the 5-axis, and that was something we've talked about, but I haven't talked about on here. Is I changed my mind very quickly after getting the Flex. Of my plan initially was like, okay, I've got the Flex, Brad, you need to get up to speed on the old C250. And now I'm realizing I think the best way and the way that we're going to try is Brad's got all these personal projects. We both have, personal projects that we want to machine. Yeah. And so I think what I'm going to have him do is just start programming those at home for the Flex.
Right.
And then we'll spend an hour or two going over the programs and seeing where I can improve. And then just fire it off as pallet 16 on a 15 pallet run or something.
Here comes fucking 5-axis tape and glue.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever he wants to do, as long as it's not something that'll endanger the machine, I'm down to clown. And if it means that he learns and it's something that he gets done and he feels, excited about, rather than scared of, I've got to get this customer job done ASAP on the 5-axis. I've always been such a big proponent of, doing personal jobs to grow that I think that's going to be a much better way to do it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. From Pete on Instagram, espresso machine update. Did you ever finish the Gadget project before your new gear came in? I didn't finish it. It is still in pieces, but I'm taking the Gadget home this weekend or next week. And it's now going to become my personal project because it's just sitting around. And my machine at home is, I think, 12 years old, something like that. And so it's a Breville, like all in one.
Okay.
And so it's showing its years. It could use either a refresh or something, but I have this Gadgia, so I think I'm going to put the whole Gadgewino together myself at home and make it a fun project, and then that way I'll have a nice machine at home. We did get the ES1, finally showed up. It's awesome. It took a lot. So it's, I mean, this is very nerdy coffee shit, but the ES1 ships with volumetric stop on. So it basically stops after a certain amount of a volume of water goes through it.
Okay.
And what they don't tell you is like how to dial that in. So we thought something was broken for the longest time, and we're like trying to dial it in, and our grinds are going all over the place. And then it turns out, oh no, you have to turn it off, dial in your shot, turn it back on, then measure what comes out with the volumetrics, and then adjust the offset for the volumetrics until it matches what you got out correctly.
Right.
And it took a week and a half or 2 weeks until I finally found a Reddit post on it. And I was like, oh, this machine isn't a piece of shit. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was fun. And then, we got the Coffetech grinder. Dennis hooked us up with one of his new Monolith SDRM ones. And even when he was on the podcast, I thought, this is crazy, fancy, snobby coffee bullshit. And I will never taste the difference.
Yeah.
It was immediately different and better.
Ooh,
I could not believe. I thought there was no way in hell that you could ever justify a super, super nice grinder like that.
Right.
But there was some coffees that he had recommended before he sent us a grinder, like weeks before, that I hated. I really did not like with our old grinder. And then I tried with his, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Like it changed the profile, the flavor completely. And I know I sound just exactly. Put pinky fingers up, like. But I can almost guarantee you that anybody would be able to taste the difference, even on the same beans, between a lower end grinder and his.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so when I go to your shop in 2 weeks, we're doing some taste testing.
If I have my new old grinder, so like I ended up buying what we had at the shop for home because it was good enough. Like it just it's no Monolith, but it was good enough. If that comes in time, I'll bring it into the shop and I can make you a shot with each because you'll be able to tell. The smell is different. The taste is very different. I don't think that I have a amazing palate, and I was able to taste it immediately.
Oh well, I'm a super taster, so.
So anyway, that's kind of the update there. Cody Smith says, what do you both consider best practice? Building toolpaths off of only model geometry or also sketch geometry? Perhaps using sketch geometry is too old school.
Do you want to say it? Do I want to say it? I mean, I think it depends,
I was going to say, why not both?
Yeah, I think, exactly. It's if I can use the model, I much prefer to use the model, but sometimes the model geometry doesn't allow you to do very contiguous contours or whatever, and you just need to. Also, it's very I'm assuming he means for Fusion.
No, so he clarified in his question, he teaches Mastercam.
Mastercam, there are some things where it's I think that the Mastercam's 2D dynamic is better than Fusion's 2D adaptive. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you can get crazy granular with your geometry, and a lot of the times with that, you just need to sketch it because you can do containments and what is air and what isn't air and what you're trying to cut and what you're trying to avoid. You have all of those options in the 2D, and you just got to draw it sometimes. And I wish I could do that in Fusion, and you can kind of approximate some of it, but it just doesn't quite work that way. And it's I find myself drawing a lot more in Mastercam for sure. There's just silhouette feature in Fusion is so amazing. for OD contours and stuff, you're like, why doesn't fucking everything have this? And I find myself wanting that a lot when I'm in Mastercam. And then kind of same thing, like 2D adaptive, I find myself wanting other bullshit from Mastercam inside of Fusion when I'm in Fusion. It just kind of depends. It's so part dependent, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, even in Fusion, I do both. There's tons of times that I use model geometry, and I try to use 3D model geometry when I can so that it's very low click.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when you want something the way you want it, sometimes you just gotta, fine, I'll do it myself.
Some of the, fucking Thanos style. Yeah. Some of the fucking 5-axis toolpaths benefit really greatly from drawing the curve in, as a sketch and being like, oh, I'm going to start here. I want to follow this type of curve on this geometry. And you get really titties toolpaths that way. But
like geodesic, you can sometimes get it with selecting edges from the model. But if you're using blend in geodesic, I would say 90% of the time I am picking the bounding curves of the blend and not letting it to auto pick them, because it will either error out and say it can't find them, and I'm like, dude, are you blind?
Yeah.
Or it'll just choose bad ones and make it look ugly.
Dude, some there's a part in particular I'm thinking of that we did last year, and without picking the bounding curve, it would pick up off the part a lot. And we had to pick the bounding curve, and it was like way smoother, just stayed in the cut. Oh God. Yeah. Just think about that. What a fucking nightmare.
This might be a good aside place for my now weekly, I guess, Fusion rant.
Okay. Let's go.
The home tab being on the far left of the top bar, and the home tab in general is the worst UI thing you have done in a very long time, Fusion. Yeah. I recognize you all are very nice people working on the team, and this is not a disparagement against you, but I don't know what you were thinking. It's horrible. Having both the data panel and the home tab together makes no sense. It's tech debt in real time. I hate all of it, and I think you should stop. And also, that plus all of the dumb new hybrid part stuff that I've already complained about, you're making my life so shitty when it comes to dealing with Fusion. Just stop. This is the Heights tab bullshit all over again, where people told you it was going to suck, and then it sucks, and you're like, well, I wish we would have known. And it's like, it did. Everyone told you this was stupid.
Who could have possibly seen this coming?
Yeah. It's that meme of the guy sticking the stick in his own spokes and then blaming someone else. It's like, you guys did this to yourself, and you need to stop it. You need to go back to the ethos of this needs to be the least amount of clicks to get to the right result. And you're moving away from that, and I don't know why. That has always been Fusion's and HSM Works' selling point.
Right.
And it needs to continue to be your guiding ethos. I don't understand it.
Right. They're like, no, we just know better than you. It's okay.
They're like, no, we're going to release a half-baked home tab and then put it right next to the data panel. And, if you close out all of your files, you have to go into the home tab, and you have to open up a blank file so then you can access the data panel, because there's no way to get out of the home tab, because heaven forbid we just put an X on that and let you just go to a blank screen or something.
Yeah. It's very weird.
It's so bad. It's so bad, and it's bad design. It's just such poor UI UX design.
It's also incredibly, every update I feel like it gets slower and slower and slower. It's just getting more and more bloated, you know? There's just something about it. It's just not nearly as snappy as it used to be. At least it feels that way, you know?
It's not. And I would love, I will preach this from the mountaintop forever. I would love just 2 full update cycles where every team just focused on bugs and performance. I don't need new features right now. I need the things that I have to work
new features,
the way I want them.
Yeah. They're using Claude. You're just getting new features. Oops,
Oh yeah,
all
we got
features.
an AI assistant that nobody wanted, and I can't turn off.
Right.
And like when they first released it, was heavily impacting people's RAM usage and CPU usage because they broke it. But no, we can't get performance, and we can't get a functional, stable platform. You know, that's too much to ask.
Sorry.
Yeah, but we got an AI assistant, so it's all good, man.
Yeah. Thank God. I need more AI. Yeah.
All right, last up, Matt G's says, would love to hear you guys touch on what you expect out of a new hire in terms of skills, background, etc. I'm curious at your guys' level what you think of the kind of norm for a quote-unquote journeyman, or what's expected of a machinist in today's age.
Well, I'm like actively hiring right now. So, you know, I've hired a bunch of people, you know, and I guess like my expectations have gone, you know, all over the fucking place. And essentially, like initially I just basically was trying to hire another me. What a fucking dumb idea. Like the real like answer is, out of a new hire, expect fucking nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Like I expect nothing.
If I hired you, I would expect to have to teach you everything. And if I didn't, then great. But like even someone with your skills, I would still want to train you in the way of Protium.
Exactly.
Not the way of Zapatini, you know?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And I think that's the thing, is like, you can't have any expectations. People who are like hiring to like, oh, I'm going to hire this person and they're going to be fucking so great immediately. Probably not. Like, you might get something. And I'm not saying like they're going to be a fucking like a total paperweight or an anchor for like a month, but like you should basically expect them like to give you nothing, and like your onboarding is going to take a month, 2 months, whatever. But the longer you can like realistically push out, like, oh, they're not, as they learn the ZC or Protium way, like it's going to be a bit of a, like, it's a learning curve for them to be in this new company. Like, especially for us, like when we hire people, it's like, it's a very different situation than working in a shop, because it's like, there's no, like, I mean, we've hired apps guys, we've hired shop guys, and it's, I mean, for me, like at this point, you got 3 months, you know, 3-4 months. Like I'm a hardcore macro manager. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Just fucking do your job. You know? And if you say you can do something, I'm going to expect you to do it. You know, I'm not I'm not backstopping you until I need to backstop you. So it's, oh, I have experience with this software. I have experience with that software and these processes. Cool. Here's a project. And if you can't do it, you're fucking out of here, man. That's just how it works. So like I'm okay with people faking it till they make it. Like, frankly, if you don't know how to do it, but you can figure it out, cool. That's like, we're good with that. But if you don't know how to do it and you can't figure it out, that's a fucking problem. And so I don't know what he means by the second part, level what you think the kind of norm for journeyman. Essentially, I guess what I just said, right, is if you don't have the skill, but you can figure it out, I'm okay with you lying to me, essentially. You know? Like, but if you don't have the skill and you can't figure it out, just be honest, because I'm going to fire you. I'm small and I cannot afford to watch you just fucking beat your dick up and down on a project like all day long and just burn through hours, and it's oopsies, you know? Where you're like,
there's so few true journeyman programs in the West too, that if I see journeyman, it's a turnoff for me if I was hiring someone.
You're 100.
or you're like so stuck in your ways that you're just going to be a problem, you know? Like,
I
would just expect nothing, and I would probably purposefully, our plan has always been if I'm going to hire a machinist, I want to hire someone from the college because I want someone who knows the basics, knows how to use hand tools like mics and stuff, but is a blank slate in terms of how to be a good machinist.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope that's helpful, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, man.
It's a very tough one.
Yeah. One cam metrology or business tip or trick that helped you this week.
I guess the business Claude code, that's been very helpful for us. Like metrology, I don't really have anything. Cam, I guess I gave you, folders.
That was I've used folders before, but I hadn't thought of using them to force my way up the tree, basically.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah. And like that's kind of, I mean, like, I would say the way, I say this all the time now, but getting as much money as you possibly can up front is like such a good way. Like, even like you could, to a certain extent, it's a really good way of just like filtering people who are serious or not. Like, people are like, oh, I want all this work and I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's cool, man. Here's the agreement. Do the thing.
Here's the bill.
Like,
okay.
Like, what do you mean? Yeah. We haven't done anything yet. It's like, you're right. We haven't. And I'm not going to fucking program your machine and do a turnkey on 2 different versions of Net 30. It's not fucking happening.
It's crazy how we have screwed up our society to where that's not the norm. Because our electrician loves us because every time he asks us to pay anything, we're just like, yeah, okay, money's in your account. Like when we started the power, he was like, okay, it's going to be this much, and I need like half or a quarter or a third up front. I don't remember what it was. But he was like, I need this much up front for like materials and to get stuff going. I was like, okay, it's fine. And like literally looked down at my phone and was like, okay, it's in your account. And he was like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And like I could tell he was shocked. Yeah. I'm like, what, that I treated you like I would want to be treated? Like, go do what I want you to do. Like, I'm hiring you to do something. Here's the money. Right. Get it done.
Yeah. It's like the amount of people that are like, we do it like this. And they're like, well, we don't. Or they're like, well, we don't do that with anybody. It's, well, you're going to do it with us if you want to work with us. And it's like, we big dicked the prime and they paid us. Yeah. It's, you want it, come get it, baby. But like, we're busy. I don't need, like, it is like straight up pumpkin plan. That's 2 episodes in a row, pumpkin plan, baby.
Yep.
Where it's like, you're either like fit into the business model that we are trying to build or you don't. Like, I don't need to work with anybody I don't want to work with. Like, and like, frankly, that kind of goes for personal relationships too. Like, you don't have to be, like, right. Like, it's like, you're not obligated to have a relationship with somebody, like, and I don't mean that sexual relationship or whatever. Right. But like, just like, you don't need to be friends with people. Like,
that you
just
don't
because,
like.
Yeah. Easy. That's the trip. That's the tip.
I've got 2. Well, one is kind of just a plug for a really cool. So anybody who listens to this, I assume, has seen one of the title cards that I make. That was all Travis's doing when he was on from Alien Tools. He was like, your album artwork looks like shit. Let's fix that. And he created a Photoshop template for me and showed me how to use it and blah, blah, blah. This guy on Instagram that I've followed for a while, we've chatted for a very long time, Albert Omas, just came out with this software called ArcBrush, and it's a node-based photo editor. So rather than like all these layers and effects and blah, 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 you have all your things as nodes, which is kind of a newer quote-unquote concept in maybe the last decade. There's video editors that use it now, blah, blah, blah. But I recreated the workflow I use in Photoshop in ArcBrush, which is completely free right now. You only have to buy AI tokens if you want to use any of those features, but otherwise it's completely free. And it works so much better for templatizing that stuff. Like literally what was like a 20-minute thing where I would use Photoshop's built-in subject masker where it grabs the subject, and then I'd have to go in and edit the mask because it was kind of shitty, and like brush away things that were not supposed to be in it, and then do the black and white back and change the curves, and then composite it back together, blah, blah, blah. All of those are now nodes that automatically update. So I'll drop the photo in, spend 1 token to automatically create a mask around the subject that works so good.
Nice.
And then it just flows through all the nodes, does all of the editing automatically. I go into the text one, I edit the text, hit 2 export buttons, and it's done. And it's this was amazing.
Nice.
So not really manufacturing related, but super cool. If you do any kind of editing that's you're doing the same stuff over and over, definitely go check out ArcBrush. I think it's super, super neat. And the fact that he wrote it, I think him and his team maybe, I don't know if it's just him, but it's super, super nice. It's like a real application. It's not some web thing. So like it opens very, very quickly. It's very performant, super awesome.
Fuck yeah.
The other metrology tip that I will have, and this I'm going to put out, I think I'm going to start doing Metrology Monday little videos, like reels on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Next one that or the first one that I want to do, I think I need to check the video, see if I filmed it correctly. But if you haven't used a leveling plate to check flatness, they're awesome for tiny parts or for parts that are tough to check flatness with a 3-point method, because you put it on a stage, and then the stage has 1 stationary foot and 2 that are adjustable. And you basically do what you do on top of machinist jacks, where you go around to 3 points on the top. And then once those are zeros, you can check the flatness. But because it's a stage, it works so much better and so much quicker. I'll put a video up next Monday. Hopefully, I guess it might be the Monday before this episode comes out, which will be a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
It should be on my Instagram, hopefully, by the time this comes out.
Okay.
So,
cool.
All right, last up, what have you been researching this week?
What have I been researching this week? I think, well, I guess 5-axis robo drills, for reasons and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say on that. That's
fair.
That's basically what a lot of the research has been this week. And I guess turning Justin's logo into a pie chart.
That was fantastic. That was super cool. Let's see. So I got some new shop shoes. Those were great. Timberland makes composite toe shop shoes that were
nice.
They look just like normal shoes. They're super, super comfortable. I've been looking into Liquid Tool, like the coolant management system.
Okay.
I don't want to pay that much every year, but also, and I have the key sensor and I want to do all that stuff myself, but also I kind of just want it done and just not to have worry about coolant again. So I'm on and off, hot and cold about that.
Yeah.
This was not a research thing, but I told you, and I think I'm pretty right about what it was. I found a very interesting physical bug, I guess, with the H2D. That if you're inserting a bunch of magnets, like strong magnets, into many little prints, it will actually draw down the other extruder just enough to be off of the switch, the limit switch or whatever they use.
Yeah.
And it constantly thinks that the extruder is out of position. It was bizarre. I tried to restart it 1,000,000 times. It wouldn't do it. Finally, I reprinted all of the things that I made in a straight line in Y.
Yeah.
So that way the second head was never close to it, and it worked perfectly fine.
Nice. That's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting because it gave me the notification on the app, and I was like, oh, really? Is it broken? Like, how did it get knocked off? And then I looked, I'm like, no, it's totally fine. And then I walked over to it, tried restarting it 5 or 6 times, and it would go and do half a layer and then freak out and be like, nope, the head's not in place.
Yeah, and you're like, interesting. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So very, very interesting. All right, man. Well, that kind of takes care of all I've got.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
been,
think I have anything else.
yeah, it's been fantastic to finally catch up.
Yeah.
I think this might be the longest we've been in quite some time.
Yeah. It's been like 2 months for sure. Because I was in Arizona. That might be 2.5 months, right? Because the last one was in person.
Was it really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the last one was in person.
Jeez. That's wild. So, giant thank you to Jacob, Michael, Christian, Matt, Chris, Joseph, and Garrett. You all make this show possible in addition to everyone else on the Patreon. It lets me send mics and cameras and all that stuff around the world. I'm actually building a kit right now with somebody in Australia so we can start recording some great episodes down there. And the roaming kits that I have in Germany and the UK will start being put to use very shortly here. So
we got a Matt episode coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Simon was like, hey, you have this kit here. Do you want to do anything with it? I was like, actually, yeah, I do. I've just been way underwater. So, yes.
I wonder, is Simon going to be on that one or is it just going to be Matt?
I think we're going to do just Matt first and then a Matt and Simon one, maybe. I'm going to leave it up to them. We'll figure it out. But again, thank you, all the Patreon members. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And I will be back next week.